I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. QSR Simulations Gen 4 series, live from Rockingham, the one they call the Rock. I'm your host, Morgan Cook, producer and broadcaster. Alongside me, the redneck announcer himself, Jake Reeves, at the Jake Reeves 57. And we are here live on V-Speed. Give us a follow on X and all that fun stuff, but let's get down to it, Jake. This is going to be a fun one tonight. Rockingham, old track, forgotten by a lot. I've never seen a race here personally. What do you think?
Well, Morgan, it's been a long time since, obviously, I think any of us has really even seen a race here at the Rock.
2004.
It's 1 mile. Yeah, long time. That was a little photo finish between Casey Kane and I believe it was Matt Kenseth. Kenseth was able to beat him out for that one. And then, matter of fact, Matt Kenseth the season before that actually crowned himself, or got crowned, I should say, the NASCAR Winston Cup champion back in 2003. So it's been a long time, obviously. Great to see the Rock here on iRacing. Great to see this place right here. But obviously, North Carolina Speedway, Rockingham, the Rock, however you want to look at it. This place right here, this is old school, folks. And obviously, with the Gen 4 cars, this is exactly the kind of race that you want to see here with these cars. Obviously, 1 mile in length. Corners, they're going to differ 22 to 25 degrees. 8 degrees down Thunder Alley, which is on the backstretch. And one thing about this track is that you want to try to stay away from that top side, Morgan, because if you get up there on that top side, especially going through 3 and 4, you can really eat your tires up. That's one thing that this place has got a serious characteristic to it. It's much like, say, Dover or say like Old Homestead, pretty much where we was at Tuesday for the QSR Xfinity Series. So this place has got a lot of characteristics, much like those older tracks, and that's why this is a huge fan favorite to a lot of iRacing drivers as well as NASCAR fans in general, Morgan. So very ecstatic, I guess you could say, to be here at the Rock. But I'll tell you this much. The race we had last week, the Rock's going to have to live up to its name seriously if it wants to try to contend with the best race probably of the damn year that me and Bradley Cooper saw last week when these guys was at Talladega.
Yeah, thriller it was last week, but looking ahead to what we're going to see moments from now, 105 lap race here tonight, 45 mile an hour on pit road, 4 tire sets. You're probably going to want all of them. As Jake alluded to, top side is rough, it's abrasive, but it's also the fast way around at the Rock. 2 green white checker attempts, 100% fuel, iRacing fixed setup as always. Now we have a championship to talk about here. Here are the point standings on your screen. 2 races left until we go down to the playoffs, chase for the cup, as it was called in the 2000s. Ronnie Joyner, Jeremy Burns, Terciano, Costner, and Walker are your top 5. A lot of those drivers not in the race today. So things will be changing in the top 10 in points. Quick look at your schedule before we grid. There it is. We are at Rockingham, top of the right-hand column. Indy, Darlington, then the chase begins at Dover. But it's time to grid. So let's get right down to it. Starting on the pole, Daniel Molnix. In the Blue Deuce, Quentin Stewart alongside him in the 24. Third place, Brent Allen. And Stephen McGough starts 4th. 5th place, Jeremy Burns, Kurt Busch throwback. Terciano driving the 14 will start 5th. Wyatt Walker in the 85 is going to start in 7th position. 8th place will be Mitchell Costner in the 92. 9th place, Trenton Wilkin driving a, I believe, Ryan Newman throwback in the Altel 12. Austin Dowdy will start in the 10th position in the 8.
You got Chris Nails going to roll off P11. Last week's winner, Ethan Wisnowski. Like I talked about, a straight-up thriller at Talladega last week. Coming off of the win, he's going to start tonight in P12. Spencer Johnson is going to start in P13. He's the last driver to take a time. The rest of these drivers did not take a time. Derek McMurtry, he'll start in the 14th spot. Patrick Hernandez, talked about him last week, done a fantastic job at Talladega. He's going to start 15th. Frank Walsh starting in 16th. Reed Sanders 17th. And Bryson Witherspoon is going to be 18th. And Morgan, big chip. You talked about it a while ago with the points and everything. Your point leader, Ronnie Joyner, is not here this evening. So this could be what Jeremy Burns really needs to try to get back up there in the hunt for that championship fight.
We're going to find out right away what that 97 has for the rest of this field. He's going to have to make this a good one today to make up all those points on Joyner, who, like you mentioned, did not appear for this race. So points implications, as they say up in the NBC booth. But here we are on V-Speed. Don't forget, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, now is the perfect time. We haven't even taken the green flag yet. Go hit that bell button, hit the like icon, hit the subscribe button. Don't miss a moment of the action here live on V-Speed. Don't miss Jake's beautiful voice. It's really fantastic, isn't it? And
yes, it is.
All of the racing we have, days that end in Y, every day of the week. We're always doing something and always bringing you some of the best action on iRacing. Here we are for another one. QSR Gen 4 Series rolling through turn 4. About to take the green. Molnix on the inside, Quentin Stewart on the outside. That Mustang gonna turn to the left. There it is. And we are green at the rock.
Here we go. Looks like everybody's going to file off big time right here. Morning's going to get a fantastic jump on the field, and he's going to try to set sail and not even look back. Quentin Stewart up there on that top side. Now he's got Burns trying to get around him. Allen has already shot around them. Allen's already bumped his way up to the 2nd spot. Now Stewart tries to send it in, but look at this right here. Watch them all fan out right here going through 3 and 4, Morgan. Beautiful scene right here. It literally takes me all the way back to 2004 seeing these cars here.
And my first NASCAR race I ever watched was 2005, so this place closed down before I ever got a chance, and I wish I could see it. Dowdy's around.
Oh.
That's the 8. Big wall contact.
Dowdy. Yeah, big time contact right there, Morgan, and he is smoking big time, and obviously no fast repairs right here for the QSR Gen 4 Series, so that's big time problems right there for Dowdy going around. Now he's got to pull it into the pits. Obviously got that meatball flag. We see Frank Walsh looks like he's losing him a couple of spots as well. All the smoke right there from all when Dowdy hit the wall. Dowdy slammed the wall. He didn't just hit it. He slammed it. He smashed it, however you want to look at it. And you can see the whole left side of the car is straight up crankled up.
Yeah, big issues, obviously, for the 8, and then the 54 got pretty loose off the corner as well. He lost a bunch of spots. And this thing is on a razor's edge, I think, is the only way you can really talk about it here at Rockingham. You're just always free, especially on cold tires.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're going to be free. and another reason why you're going to be free is we talked about it, and you talked about it as well, Morgan, with this abrasive track surface that these guys is going to have to try to get around here tonight. A lot of times they're going to be going around the corners. You actually saw one of them way back there. I believe that might have been Hernandez or Reed Sanders. One of them, I mean, just coming off a 2, that's where you got to watch yourself coming off a 2. A lot of guys can get loose over there, but also, as well as the abrasive surface, these guys are going to be bottoming out going into these corners, or going into 1, going through 1 and 2, and especially going into 3, just with just how beat up the track is. I mean, look, I mean, you see basically where they had to crack seal the whole damn backstretch, but us race fans, we love that right there because that's going to make drivers have to drive the car, is what you're seeing right now. Quentin Stewart trying to drive the car. He's going to send it right around the 13 of Brett Allen. So take Stewart up to 2nd. Allen kick back to 3rd. But I'm telling you, Stewart, he's going to have to put it on the loud pedal because Monix has already got a 2nd half lead over these guys.
And that 13 might have to start getting going. He's got Jeremy Burns all over the back bumper in the 97. Brent Allen just trying to hang on right now. We're 8 laps into 105 here at Rockingham.
Still a long way to go right now, Morgan, as you start seeing some of these guys trying to watch themselves coming off of turn 2. That's one of the more trickier corners. We see one around back here in the back. I believe it's Spencer Johnson.
That's right.
The 29, yeah, he looked like he may have got loose, may have got tagged and sent him down into the inside retaining wall on the backstretch. But go back up to the battle up here. Stewart is starting to kind of close that gap just a little bit on Monix. I think he maybe needed that to get around Brent Allen. That way he can get up there and get him some clean air, because even in these Gym 4 cars, Morgan, you want to try to get the clean air. You always want the clean air because then you know that you're not going to be in the dirty air, and that's not going to throw your balance off. But Brent Allen trying to take another shot at him, not able to do it. He'll fall back in line, but that gap, it's flip-flopping, honestly, Morgan. You know, Monix is starting to pull away, then Stewart is starting to catch him. Very, very interesting how this is playing out.
Just saw a big moment for the 14 off of turn 2. Thing was dead sideways, pointed at the inside wall, able to bring it back righted, and he carries on in the 7th position. That is Joseph Terciano in the 14. This strikes me right now, Jake, as feeling out the car, setting yourself up for later in the run. Nobody wants to get out and go too fast, go too hard right now, because you might not get that back. You might not get that speed back. So you're just trying to poke and prod your competition as Jeremy Burns makes a move here on Brent Allen to the inside to see what they've got, what you've got, and how you can take advantage later in this race.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is not in the field, because if Ricky was, he would have probably already sent it on the first lap. You probably would have had a caution, probably. Shout out to any of y'all that knows what I'm talking about from the All-Star race.
Hold my watch, Jake.
Sunday night, obviously, yes. There you go, Morgan. And there you see Burns really starting to get comfortable. It's like you said, everybody wants to try to get it here, get them a couple of laps under their belt right here, sitting at about lap 13. Know what you got, and now you can try to see how comfortable you can be to try to pass somebody, and that's what Burns is feeling right now. Obviously, it feels like he's very comfortable. A little bit close right there with Allen. I think Allen was just trying to slide in behind him, because it's like we talked about. You don't want to be up on the top side. Mainly in 1 and 2, you can run that top side pretty good in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, you can run it up there going into 1. But if we get a shot, we can probably see the camera angle when you're coming off of turn 2. A safer barrier does stick out just a little bit right there. There you see it right there. It sticks out just a little bit, just enough to snag you and send you straight up into the wall and give you a meatball flag. So got to be very, very careful when you're running that top side 1 and 2.
Got a pretty good gaggle of cars here. That's the top 10. And a ways back from the 48, you can see all the way back there is Patrick Hernandez in the 91. We'll through your field here in just a minute, but it's about 4 seconds separating 10th and 11th. But the whole top 10, you can see it in front of the 48. They're all right on top of each other. There is no getting away from anybody at Rockingham.
No, I mean, right now there's not. I mean, I think everybody's just basically pretty much put it on cruise control where everybody really has. Stewart is starting to kind of reel in Daniel Monix just a little bit right here. So we saw a little bit of action right there with Stewart. I think Stewart might have got a little loose coming off of turn 2. That's going to open the door for the 97, Jeremy Burns. He's going to advance up to second. And you know, just like we talked about, Morgan, you know that Jeremy Burns, when he loaded up into this session tonight, he didn't see Ronnie Joyner get in this bad boy. He knew that this is when he needs to pounce. He needs to try to get as many points as he can. And how do you get as many points as you can? By winning the race. And that's exactly what Jeremy Burns has got in his mind right now, is try to get up there, get a hold of that number 2 car, and try to win this race tonight.
And he is maintaining the gap ahead to Molnix. It's hovering right around that 1.1, 1.2 second number. Kind of fluctuates into the corner and out of the corner, but I think these two are pretty evenly matched. 20 laps into this race at Rockingham. 105 on the docket today. And when are we going to start thinking about fuel, Jake? What's the fuel number here? Any idea?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of looking at my notes right here to kind of get an idea of what they're going to end up having to do right here. I'm going to say at least around 80 laps on a full tank of fuel. Obviously, they've been out here. They've already ran for about 20, so you'd say probably they might go about another, say, maybe 60 laps. But, I mean, Morgan, you know, we talked about this more or less, I guess you could say, Tuesday night at Homestead when they was running the Xfinity Series here with QSR. You mud the tires. I just don't think you'll end up having the time to run them down. So I expect everybody to try to split this sucker right down the middle. Might see some guys try that 2-stop strategy. But I mean, anybody that watched Tuesday night here on V-Speed, they know as well as we do. A lot of them tried to do that 2-stop strategy, and it didn't pay out for them.
One thing too about New Hampshire. How about Homestead, Miami? That same shape, just very different sizes and bankings. Anyway, not important. But the fall off here is only about 0.4 of a second for the leader. A little farther back you get in the field. But at Homestead last week or on Tuesday, it was like 1.5 seconds. So it's a lot harder to make that move here to pit early. Big lose for the 85 because the fall off isn't there yet. It might be there later, but we're not feeling it right now.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think White Walker might end up calling that was not exactly what he was thinking right there, to be honest with you, Morgan, because, I mean, he just straight up about lost it right there coming off of turn 4. I mean, he had Allen on his outside. Walker trying to figure out a way, almost tags him in the tailgate or the back bumper. I keep thinking these guys are in trucks for some reason, Morgan. Almost hit him straight in the back bumper. That's going to stack them up behind him. It's going to stack up Mago. That's going to stack up Nail, Terciano, Wilkin, all these guys. Stack them up hard, big time. After Walker almost ended up getting into Allen. This is going to bring now Derek McMurtry way back here. We talked about it. The 10th place guy. Literally all of these guys right here from 4th all the way back to 10th under a blanket right here.
Oh, 20.
Goes hard up into the wall. Wilkin has to get out of the gas and almost tags him.
Yeah, just missed the corner. Not sure what happened for the 20. Loose on entry and found the outside wall. That is not going to help the day at all for Chris Nail. Probably not going to end it by any stretch, but he is now suffering with a heavily damaged right front fender in the 20.
Yeah, Morgan, that's pretty rough right there. I mean, hell, we can see it on our camera angles. I mean, you can literally see the tire. I mean, that's no good. Especially now, he's actually looks like he just pulled down to the bottom of the racetrack. Exactly what he's doing. Yes, he's probably going to go into the pits. I'm looking to see if he has a meatball flag, and he does not have a meatball flag. The only two drivers that I'm seeing right now is obviously Dowdy, who hit the wall more or less head on, and then the other driver I'm seeing is Bryson Witherspoon into 22. And actually, I just did see that Chris Nail has retired from the event. So Chris Nail probably not liking Rockingham too much here tonight.
No, it's a fickle racetrack. It's very difficult to get a handle of, and I mean, just like that, he was running 8th or something like that, and then it all went away very, very quickly, and he found himself wadded up on the outside wall, bring it down pit road, and day over for the 20. 29 coming down pit road right here. I think that was the smoke we just saw on the backstretch. A great battle for the 5th position.
Yeah, that smoke was from the 29. Actually, the 29 almost got tagged by the 91 of Patrick Hernandez. He didn't tag him, but it got close at Allen. Woo, boy, he almost got close to losing that bad boy. He's got McGo all over his back bumper right now. And, I mean, he's just licking his chops at this point. He's already seen Allen. Look at him. He's already sideways coming off a 4. McGo, he's wanting to try to go. But, I mean, you obviously don't want to try to use the bumper here, especially in these Gym 4s where you can just straight up jack up somebody's back end and spin them out. Allen, there you see the virtual camera. He's trying to hold on to that thing. Look at the wheel, even on the straightaway. Morgan, he's got that sucker back and forth, back and forth. He's got that sucker wiggling so much. That is what Rockingham is. It's so bumpy, it's so worn out. That's why a lot of drivers love this place, because that old school field mentality, and that's what you're seeing right now between Allen and McGo. And this McGo was way up on the top of the racetrack, got loose. That's all Steven needed right there, 83. He's going to go to the top 5.
Saw another driver on the inside. I think that is the 22 of Bryson Witherspoon, 4 laps down, just coming off pit road. Might have had another issue there, but we look back at our leader, Daniel Molnix. He has checked out on the field, 3 seconds back to Jeremy Burns. There is your leader, led 32, actually all of the laps to this point. Second place, Jeremy Burns, the Mountain Man. Kurt Busch throwback, and he is twitchy off of turn number 4. Behind him, Quentin Stewart in the 24, started second, currently resides in the 3rd position. Wyatt Walker up 3 spots in the 85. He is currently in the 4th position. Stephen McGo, how about? He is in 5th place, down 1 from where he started. Really good battle back here for 6th with Washington most of the race. Brent Allen is the 13. Trenton Wilkin is the 12. And Derek McMurtry gaining spots through attrition. He is in 8th place in the 48. Terciano back to the 9th spot. Mitchell Costner is in the 92. Fed Up, not FedEx, in 10th position.
Then you got Reed Sanders back there sitting in 11th. Last week's winner, Ethan Wisniewski, sitting in P12 right where he started. Matter of fact, Reed Sanders is actually up 6 spots. A pretty good drive for him. And he's getting a little bit of a battle right now. Wisniewski is right here with Frank Marshall. Frank in the 54 trying to get up here and get him some right here with Wisniewski. And looks like Wisniewski starts to try to pull away, and then Frank tries to end up catching back up to him. And those are the guys that's on the lead lap. The rest of them, Patrick Hernandez, he's sitting down pit road. He's sitting in 14th. Witherspoon, he's still out there on the track. He's already went multiple laps down in 15th. Chris Snell, he's already backed out, so he's gone. And then Spencer Johnson down pit road as well. And then obviously Austin Dowdy still sitting down on pit road right now, trying to get some of that damage fixed. But check it out right here, McMurtry, he's got around Allen. He's trying to go for Wilkin.
We're getting to a point where you can start splitting this race in half in only about 15 laps or so. So I think that's something a lot of these drivers are hoping and praying for, is just get me to halfway. We've fallen off over a second on the stopwatch. Just get me there, and I can get you the rest of the way. But get me to lap 50, then we got something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, there's a good chance, honestly, that 2nd place, 3rd place, maybe even 4th place right now is basically just wanting us probably to go ahead and wave the white flag, because Molnix has already got out to a 4-second lead now. I mean, he is straight up putting him, he's took him to the woodshed here tonight. He's just giving them a straight up old Southern spanking right now. Is exactly what he's doing, Morgan, right now. Obviously got it right there, 3.8, more or less, call it 4 seconds to Jeremy Burns. And I mean, Burns is in a hell of a battle back here. He's got Stewart right up his back bumper. Walker not too far back, but Stewart is really putting this pressure right now on Burns. And Morgan, it's like I said, obviously Burns knows in the back of his mind that Ronnie Joyner is not here, that point leader is not here, and obviously Burns wants to be able to try to advance and maybe try to bump up and get inside for that point lead. Quentin Stewart, he's got he's got different agenda right now. He doesn't care. He wants to get up here. He wants to get 2nd place. There you see him right there, very, very aggressive, trying to hold on to the wheel over the bumpy surface, putting a lot of pressure right now on Burns. Burns slides up. Stewart maybe going for 2nd off of 4th.
Little driver eye cam right there. You can just see how much that wheel moves as we go through the corner and on the straightaway, but down to the bottom in turn 1, not going to have the momentum. Burns going to retain second place.
Yeah, and this looks like he's probably going to be able to maybe set sail, at least for right now, Morgan. But I'm telling you, these guys right here, both of them, more or less, you could say they're both battling right now, and they're racing each other extremely hard. I believe Stewart is the faster car right now at this point over Jeremy Burns. If I had to be honest, I mean, actually Burns almost tapped the wall. Stewart trying to go for second now, thinks about it, and now Burns way up to the top of the racetrack. Burns should get the momentum coming off of the quarter. Not entirely. Stewart going to be able to hang right there on his door, but now Burns able to advance and get clear. And right now, I mean, Burns is just giving Stewart fits at this point right here. He wants to try to get around Burns. He's trying to get around him cleanly. Hell, the only way that it looks like that he's actually going to be able to try to get around him is if he just hits him in the tail and spins him out, which obviously you don't want to do that. I know Stewart doesn't want to do that. The entertainment folks would love that, but obviously nobody wants to see that, so he's just giving Stewart a lot of fits right now.
These two drivers steadily falling back from Daniel Molnix there. A little off the pace here. Oh, big slide for the 24. Had to avoid the slow 97 off the corner. That's going to hurt the exit speed for that 24 machine of Quentin Stewart. 85 getting into this battle, though. This is about to be 3 cars fighting for second.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably what Stewart really didn't want to have to worry about. He really didn't want to have Jeremy Burns hold him up so much to where did they end up having White Walker get in the middle. Listen, don't look now. Don't look now. Look back there. Fence right back there. Stephen McGough back there. Not too far back. We may see a 4-horse race. We saw it a while ago when we had about 6 or 7 of them trying to go for 4th all the way back to 10th. Now we may have a 4-horse race for second right now. If Steven's able to jump up here and get in the middle of this, it's only about a second back from this battle right here for second. As White Walker looked like he was thinking about trying to jump down to the inside. Basically, these guys, honestly, what they're trying to do right now, they're just waiting for the other one to screw up and waiting for the other one to do it.
On board here with 4th place Wyatt Walker. You can see the wheel, just how much it moves all over this racetrack. Like, these guys are fighting the wheel. It's loose, it's tight, it's got no grip in any direction. But 85 still going to get a good run off the corner, maybe try and force it too wide on the 24. No dice quite this time. Not missing anything up front. Molnix 5.5. I'm going to say 5.6 now in front of this trio. Working lap traffic. There is the Blue Deuce just doing his thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's on rails right now, Morgan. I mean,
Burns in the wall.
Here, whoa!
Burns big time in the
up
wall.
Into the fence. Big time up in the fence. That's going to allow Stephen McGough to jump around him and go for 4th. And Morgan, it's like I was just sitting there talking about. Basically, what everybody was just sitting there waiting on was one of them to screw up. Somebody had to do it eventually. I mean, we already seen 3 of them already mess up. We was just waiting on it, and damned if it didn't happen. And oddly enough, it happens to your 2nd place runner, Jeremy Burns. He loses 3 spots out of that. He loses 2nd to Quentin Stewart. He loses 3rd to Wyatt Walker, and he also loses 4th to Stephen McGough.
Do remember that Jeremy Burns is 2nd in points. Needs a good run today to capitalize on Joyner not being here tonight. So that is not what the 97 wants to have happen. Does not want to get in the outside wall, put any damage on this machine. He's already, loose off the corner. 52 laps in to this race. We are halfway this time by. And Molnix is on pit road.
Pitting, Morgan. Yeah, Molnix going to go ahead, ease it down pit road right here, literally right at the halfway mark here in this race. So obviously Molnix just wanting to go ahead, go down and just run a normal strategy. There you see, I believe Brent Allen going to dive it down pit road as well. A couple of other drivers back here, Joseph Terciano, he's going to take his car, ease it down pit road, as well as I believe that was Frank Walsh that went down. No, that was Costner. It was somebody that was back there. Now Burns obviously going to ease down May have to sit there for just a little bit. Morgan obviously got into the wall a while ago. Got a little bit of right front damage, and Stewart almost had some right front damage as well right there. He almost got the fence as well.
24 in this time. That is your leader. Wyatt Walker will take over. Get some points for leading laps. Mago still riding there in second place. Wilkin has not pitted yet. Neither has McMurtry. That is your top four. Quentin Stewart, first driver on pit road. Costner coming in as well in the 92. 4 car is going to go and gain some spots here by not pitting. Wisnowski is yet to pit. Everyone else, I believe, has hit pit road. There goes Mago. There goes Walker.
Ooh, wow, boy, they're trying to drag race going into the pits right there, son. That's what you love to see right there. Mago trying to catch Walker sleeping a little bit going into the pits, and maybe try to jump ahead of him, or at least try to get right there on his door, and then maybe try to be able to beat him coming off of pit road. As there you see Frank Walsh almost tagging up into the fence. See Molnix obviously on that splitting it right down the middle strategy. So a couple of these guys maybe trying to stay out a little bit longer than Molnix and maybe try to catch him on the back half. But I mean, Morgan, when you got that kind of lead, I mean, we saw it at 6 seconds. By the time they end up catching him at the back half of the run, they're going to run out of laps. So I think what a lot of these guys up here that were sitting up here in the top 4 behind Molnix, they're wanting a caution, and they're wanting one really bad to try to see if they can re-rack them, restack them, and get back up there with the leader.
Well, that 6-second lead, it's going to become 9 seconds here pretty soon. As Burns is 14 seconds back of the leader. Molnix 5 seconds back of the leader. Tires are about the same. Quentin Stewart had issues on pit road, getting onto in the middle of or off of pit road. He lost a couple spots. Jeremy Burns was able to be the big gainer there. He's back up to the 3rd position, right behind Molnix. Wisnowski has yet to hit pit road. I imagine that'll be here pretty soon. Or he's just going to try and run it out as far as he can. He was one of the last cars on the lead lap. See what he can do. Pull a rabbit out of the hat, maybe.
Well, I mean, Morgan, he's not in a bad spot, to be honest with you, to try this kind of strategy right here. I mean, granted, Molnix and them, they're going to really eat him up right here eventually, as now you see the 92 going to try to go around the outside. Mitchell Costner, actually, so now Wisnowski's going to go down into the pits now. But, I mean, for a second, honestly, I figured, a very, very good strategy for Wisnowski to just try to stay out there and maybe catch that caution. That way he would be able to pit, and what would all these other guys do? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to pit. Granted, you would sit there and say, well, why would they pit? Why would they pit? I mean, they just got through pitting. Tires are premium here, folks. I guarantee you that. Tires are straight up premium here at the Rocks. So if you can get those tires, if you get a caution and you got some sets of tires laying in there, yeah, you're going to go down and you're going to take that set. So if I was Wisnowski, I would have probably stayed out maybe a couple of more laps, maybe just to try to see somehow or another, maybe a caution would have come out, maybe another 10 laps. And then if a caution didn't come out at that point, just go down, get your 4 freshies, and then descend it.
Let's have a look at how everything cycled out after those pit stops. Molnix retains the lead and grows the lead. It's now 7.5 seconds. Jeremy Burns finds himself in second place after a good round of pit stops. He is the 97. Wyatt Walker fell back from the 97 a little bit. He is currently in 3rd. Quentin Stewart, the big loser of this pit sequence, he is down to 4th. And they're wrecking in front of him.
Oh my goodness, that right there was what I was talking about. Wisnowski may end up screwing himself right there. Caution on the speedway. Ray Sanders ends up going around and is parked up against the wall on the backstretch.
That was very close for a few of the drivers here in the top 5. Let's go back and have a look what happened to the 4.
Well, from what I saw, Morgan, I think, Reed just kind of got loose coming off of 2. We've said a lot of drivers really get loose going through 1 and 2. I mean, he was loose going into 1. He was already loose, and then he got loose again, and then Wyatt Walker, he just come down right in front of Walker, and Walker just couldn't check up hard enough, ends up tagging him in the back end, and ends up spinning him around. You'll see it once again right here on the instant replay. Watch Sanders when he goes into 1 right here. You already see it. Yeah, he's already wiggling. There you go. I mean, he's already wiggling at this point. Walker's already coming up. He gets loose off of 2. Walker tries to get out of the gas. Stewart almost ended up tagging Walker, then tagging Sanders. So, I mean, Stewart almost ended up getting a double whammy out of that right there. But good thing about it, nobody really got their stuff tore up that bad right there, Morgan. But that could have been big, like you said, for some of those guys sitting up there in the top, in the top 5.
That is for sure. A lot of drivers on pit road. They already had about 10 laps on their tires. No need to save them, as we're just past halfway, and this is only the second set they would have used. Molnix wins the race off pit road, but that big lead, it's gone now.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be rough right there, Morgan. You know, obviously, that's obviously not what Molnix wanted to see, was a caution come out right here, and you know, have these guys re-rack them and stack them. Now, what about the other 17 guys? Yes, they were tickled to death that the caution come out, because now they've got another shot. They got a shot to try to advance positions. Maybe even Jeremy Burns up here may have a shot to try to jump up here and grab hold of the lead him a couple of laps, and maybe have a shot to win the race. But if he is going to do that, he's got to get him right here on the start, Morgan. He can't sit there and wait around and maybe wait for 5 laps for the tires to come in. He's got to pull some Ricky Stenhouse stuff right here. He's got to go, and he's got to go now, and he's got to get in front of him.
Probably minus the getting turned into the outside wall. That's not going to help the points day for the 97, but he's going to start 1 row behind Molnix in the fifth spot. Got to remember as well, top 3 old tires for Walker, Costner, Terciano. Only 10-lap old tires, mind you, but that's still going to be an impact here at the Rock. So this could be quite the restart for these first few rows. Let's see if Molnix is able to negotiate. Burns, Stewart, Wilkin, etc., able to get around these slower cars who stayed out to try and gain a little track position.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, obviously. I mean, I'm not exactly sure why the 85, the 92, and the 14, why they stayed out right there, Morgan. It really doesn't make any sense why they would do that. Obviously, we showed it pre-race. Everybody got 4 sets of tires laid into pits, 5 including the ones that they had on the car when they started. Everybody already went down, burn a set on that green flag pit stop. And then now you got a couple of guys, they've already burned another set, so now they're sitting on 2 sets of tires. I don't know, maybe they're just trying something right here, but I got a feeling it's not going to work out too good for them.
I think it's one of the situations where Molnix has shown that he is absolutely the class of this field. And if you can try something to get ahead of him, even if it's just for a moment, you still got to make it happen. You got to try it. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to finish behind him like you were anyway?
Much. I mean, you got a point right there, Morgan, but pace lights is out, baby. We're getting ready to go back green.
Pace cars are going to make that hard left-hand turn to pit road, awkward pit road here at Rockingham. Give the field to the 85 as they roll into the zone. Green flag is out here at the Rock. And Molnix 3 wide through the middle. He's going to go to second immediately. Big issue for the 92 on the start.
Yeah, I think he spun his tires. I think Allen back there in the back, I think he spun his tires as well. Obviously, Costner on those old tires, those 10-lap older tires, big time deal right there. Obviously, when you step on the gas with this much horsepower that these cars have, obviously it's going to put you at a big time deficit as far as guys that are on those brand new tires. So obviously not the grip that you're seeing. You see Frank Walsh sitting down on pit road, I believe. But up front, Molnix trying to reel him in at Wilkin, trying to go after the 92, but Molnix looking down on the bottom. He may have a shot for the lead going into 1.
We got a battle for the lead, and Molnix wants it back. He's led the most laps today. He is going to slide right on by the 85 on those brand new tires. New leader, it's the 2, the Blue Deuce, Daniel Molnix.
Yeah, surprise at this point. I mean, he stumped the race up, to be honest with you. You know, I hate to call it like that, Morgan, but hell, I mean, he's led very much over half of this race, obviously, and pretty much done it in dominant fashion right now. So the big deal about this is Jeremy Burns really needs to try to get around these 2 guys right here, that being Walker and Terciano, if he wants to have a shot and try to get up here get a hold of Daniel Mornings and maybe have a shot to win this race. But now he's going to dive it down to the inside, try to get around Walker. Terciano tries to come up, put the block on Walker. That's going to help the inside lane advance. Burns down on the bottom. He's got Stewart right behind him. Kick Burns up to third. He's going to have a shot at Terciano unless Burns gets loose off of 2, and that's exactly what he did. But he's able to save the race car, and now here comes Stewart in a side-by-side battle with Wyatt Walker. Walker up on the top side on those old tires. Here comes Trent Wilkin to go by Walker now.
You don't look now, but the 12 has moved himself into the picture. 85 on the old tires, falling back. Burns trying to make a move on Terciano. Lap car gets out of the way. Wild stuff here at Rockingham.
I mean, that's normal for Rockingham, honestly, Morgan. It's always wild here at the Rock. That's why the fans, that's why the drivers absolutely love this stuff. And here we go. Jeremy Burns down to the inside. Terciano up top. No contest. Jeremy Burns, he's got to go to second, but is the damage already done, Morgan? Is it already done? Now a 1.5 second lead that Daniel Mornings has got over Jeremy Burns. Burns has got to put it in high gear. He's got to find some NOS. He's got to drop that lead out of the A-post or whatever Darrell Waltrip said on the Dale Jr. download. He's got to figure out a way to get that car just a little bit faster and have a shot up here with Mornings. We see a hell of a battle back here for third. Stewart, Terciano. Stewart able to get around him. And the next one, Trent Wilkin, I should say, having a shot right here. Terciano maybe going to get fourth right here.
Terciano hanging tough on those 4 older tires. So is the 85 of Wyatt Walker back there in the 6th position. Those drivers doing a pretty darn good job considering the tire disadvantage. Your top 3, Molnix, no surprise there. Jeremy Burns has moved his way up to 2nd. Quentin Stewart a little farther back in the 3rd position as they've been for much of this race. Terciano is in 4th. Wilkin running in the 5th spot. How about Walker down to 6th. Mago hanging tough in the 7th spot. Brent Allen, haven't said much about him other than when he was in that big group of cars and big damage on the front end of that 13. He is 8th. McMurtry is 9th in the 48. Costner, who restarted 2nd, has fallen back to 10th on the old tires.
Absolutely. We did have a little bit of a battle up here. Still got a battle going on. Wilkin up here trying to get around the old tires of Joseph Terciano in the 14. Wilkin gets a little bit loose. Walker thought about it, saw some daylight, not able to advance up there on the top side. Got to watch his back bumper though. Mago right behind him. Allen not too far back. Terciano got up into the fence a little bit off of 4, but still able to carry the momentum. Now Wilkin looks like he may be holding up Walker, Mago, and Allen right here. So here comes Wilkin. Now he's going to slide up in front of Walker. Walker's going to have a shot. He's going to try to get the run. I mean, Morgan, when you get those runs like some of these drivers getting like Wilkin able to finally get around Terciano and make the pass. So kick Wilkin up to 4th, Terciano to 5th, and Wilkin almost went around. Terciano had to jam on the binders, almost got into him, and that's going to make Terciano lose a whole lot of spots right here coming off of 2.
This is what the Razor's Edge looks like as you're a driver. You got cars all over the place. You're trying to pass one, trying to follow one. You're loose, you're tight. Like, look how far that wheel is pointed to the right. This is Brent Allen in 7th spot. He's going to make a pass here on Terciano in the old tires. Move the 13 up to P7.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw right there with Brent Allen with his steering wheel when he was going into 3. I mean, folks, he had the tape right in the middle. So that ought to tell you a little bit about how these cars is, how, you know, like you were talking about, Morgan, right there on the razor's edge, just right there on the brink of spinning out. So, I mean, very, very tough to get around this place. A lot of drivers just trying to manhandle it. A lot of drivers might have looked at this right here as to say, you know what, if I can get a top 10 out of the night, I'll be tickled to death with it. And a lot of drivers may be thinking that way, but Burns, Mornings, they're thinking possibly a win, as Walker just trying to hold on around Mago. Allen not too far back. McMurtry back there as well. Burns getting a little loose coming off of turn 2, trying to get around the lap car. I believe that is Spencer Johnson down on the bottom of the racetrack. So lap traffic playing a factor right here tonight here at the Rock.
Yeah, that was purely avoidance for the 97. Saw that slower 29 up on the top side. Did not want to go up into him and had to crank it down hard off of turn number 2. Going to hurt a little bit on the stopwatch, but the gap is still 1.5 seconds. Keeping pretty close tabs on the 2 of Malnix, although I think Malnix is just minding the gap at this point. Just looking in the rear view, looking at the relative, and not doing anything more than he absolutely has to.
Well, I guess if you want to put it this way, this is kind of a home race right here for Daniel Malnix, all the way up there in the great state of North Carolina for Daniel Malnix, which is where he's from North Carolina. So this is kind of a home race, I guess you can say, for Daniel Malnix. So obviously, he really wants to try to get the win here tonight. That's what you always want to do. You always want to win at your home tracks. And go figure for me, Morgan, my 2 home tracks is Atlanta and Talladega, and then ever since they've repaved it, I'll just be honest with you, it's a pain in the ass to try to win at both of those tracks. But Malnix coming out here, this is a good shot for him to try to get that hometown victory here tonight at the Rock, and looking pretty good with it right now. 20 laps to go as he hits the line.
Must be nice to have home tracks. We don't have many of those up here in Canada. So thanks for that. Anyway, leader, Daniel Malnix.
Montreal?
Yeah, sure.
Canadian Tire, you got all them? Come on.
Unfortunately, they're a 2 days drive away, but that's neither here nor there. Jeremy Burns is in second. Quentin Stewart's running third. Trenton Wilkin is in the 4th spot. Wyatt Walker, 5th, right beside Stephen McGough. That could change at any moment. Brent Allen is running 7th. Derek McMurtry is in the 8th spot, quietly in the 8th spot for the 48. Terciano falling back a little bit on those old tires. He is 9th. Costner is 10th. Wisnowski, first car 1 down. He is 11th. Frank Walsh, 2 down in 12th. Witherspoon.
We got a spin on the front stretch. McGough goes around off the front bumper of Walker. Walker tried to get out of the gas and tried not to get into it, but he sent McGough down into the grass. Wow, that could have been big right there for McGough, but he's able to save the race car. Wow, Morgan, that was rough right there. Like you talked about, this could change at any point right here. You'll see McGough slides up just a little bit right there. Thought he was clear, and I guess Walker, honestly, I don't think he got out of the gas at that point. I think he was just thinking, hey, you got to slide up in front of me like that. I'm just going to keep my foot in it. That's exactly what happened right there between McGough and Walker.
Try and slow me down. I'm going to give you the business. I think that's what the 85 was thinking. Sent that 83 down there. No spin, though. Good save through the grass for McGough, although he's going to fall back to the 8th spot. Other drivers in the race who are laps down: Spencer Johnson, Austin Dowdy, 15th, 16th, respectively. Reed Sanders in 14th. Patrick Hernandez and Chris Nail are out of this race with damaged race cars. The gap, first to second, is still 1.5 seconds, but Burns has only got 15 more laps to figure it out.
Yeah, and he's going to have to figure it out pretty quick. He's had a lot of time to try to figure this out. There you see Austin Dowdy, numerous laps down, 43 to be exact. Now he's actually going to give way to these guys right here. That's on the lead laps. A good man for Austin Dowdy. Try to slide out of the way. Let Quentin Stewart try to get up here. Maybe try to see if he can run down Burns. Looks like Dowdy is going to pull over and let Wilkin go as well. But riding on board with Stewart. Check it out right there. We got the gyro cam right there. See also the virtual cam right there on the bottom right. Watch Stewart as he goes into 3. Obviously down the backstretch how bumpy it is. Gyro cam got it kicked up. There you see Stewart trying to hold on to the wheel, especially right there coming off a 4. Saw the bump. Just trying to hold on to the race car and try not to end up spinning it out. So this place is a handful, Morgan. It really is. It is a straight up handful. And for the amount of cars that's on the track and the amount of laps, and especially the amount of power that's under the hood of these Gen 4 race cars here for QSR, they're putting on a hell of a show here tonight, because I'll be honest with you, Morgan, I've seen numerous races here at Rockingham where you may see about 10 cautions. I've seen official races that turned into about 10 cautions. These guys, they're putting on a great show here this evening.
Yeah, official races, you could probably call them the parking lot series. That's what it seems like a lot of these racetracks. But this car, as you mentioned, lots of horsepower. I believe the most horsepower of any stock car on the service. Am I right about that?
I believe you are correct. I believe you are correct. Back when it was a good time, I guess you could say, for race drivers to be able to drive a car that was on the brink of spinning out and was also could blow up at any point, if you want to put it that way, Morgan. It was always a good time to see these Gen 4 cars. Happy to see iRacing bring them back. And yeah, I mean, it's got to be one of the, if not the one car that's got that much horsepower, which is give or take right around 800 horsepower, give or take.
And it's got very little downforce as well. Not that side force they used to have, or they have on these new cars. They didn't really have that with this car. I think Wyatt Walker just had an issue. He dropped back a few spots here, 5th to 7th for the 85. As McMurtry up to the 5th spot. Very quiet, calm day for the 48. Exactly what he needed. Had a couple rough races here the last few weeks. Sorry, partly my fault. Anyway, good run here for the 48. As we got Brent Allen, big time in the wall.
Yeah, Brett Allen back there. Whoa, Walker tried to get around him. Saw the opportunity, dove it down on the inside, able to jump around him. But now Allen gonna fight hard on that inside. Try to get back up here. Try to get this 6th spot from Walker. Walker still has it. Allen tries to get going, but the top side got that momentum. Looks like Walker's gonna be able to prevail. Gets a little loose off of 2, but still looks like Walker's gonna hold on to that 6th spot.
I think Allen's got a little tight with that right front damage. Cannot quite rotate the center of the corner the way he needs to. Good run off the corner. 85 will still prevail at this moment. We got 6 laps to go. Molnix leads by 2.5 seconds over Burns. Very close behind Burns is Quentin Stewart. We saw him a little bit earlier. Trenton Wilkin in the 12 is closing in, his best running spot of the day in that Ryan Newman throwback in the Altel machine there. Derek McMurtry in the 48. He is 5th. Wyatt Walker falls back to 6th. Brent Allen is 7th. Mago 8th. And Costner 9th. Terciano falls back to the 10th spot on those old tires. So, 2.5 seconds, 2.3 now. I don't think Burns is going to have anything in the tank to make up half a second a lap. That seems a little ambitious. I think the battle now is just keep it in second, maximize the points, stay the best you can, and tip your cap to the 2. But we're not over yet. 5 laps to go.
No, sir, we are not. Quentin Stewart is there trying to get second right here on Jeremy Burns, and also not too far back of this great battle for the 2nd spot. Trent Wilkin has jumped up here. They've got around the lap car of Ethan Wisnowski. So now here comes Stewart. He's going to take a shot on the top side. Not able to get it to run. Now he's going to try to get the run off of the corner, but not able to get up to the back bumper of Burns. He's got to get right there on his back bumper, get that run off of 2, and especially right here through 3 and 4. If he can get to his door going in 3 and 4, Stewart will have Burns 9 ways to Sunday right here, because he's able to get just one of the best runs that I've seen a lot of these cars be able to get in 3 and 4. He can dive it going into the corner and gets right up on the back bumper of Burns. He's got to get his 2 figured out. If he can get turn 2 figured out and get to the door of Burns, especially on the inside, if he can get there, he's got to get there, Morgan. But if he can get to that door coming off of 2, Burns is in trouble. He's probably going to end up losing second if that happens.
And only 2 laps to figure it out as Molnix is about to take the white flag. Still riding on with 2nd and 3rd place as they battle it out. See who's going to be runner-up tonight. But Molnix, there he is, coming off turn 4. He will grab the white flag. 1 more lap to go here at Rockingham. Truly dominant performance for the 2s. Led 92 laps out of the 104 we have currently finished. Just an absolute dominating performance for the Blue Deuce.
Absolutely. Wow, dominating performance right there from Molnix. Stewart Burns made a little contact in 1 and 2, but Morgan, take us home.
Out of turn 4, Daniel Molnix will win at Rockingham.
Molnix gets it, and Burns is going to be able to beat Stewart to the line. I hate to cut you off right there, Morgan, but Stewart, I was sitting there watching this battle for the 2nd spot. Stewart sent it in hard going into turn 1 and just drove it straight up into the door of Jeremy Burns. And actually, Burns got up into the fence a little bit, but Burns able to hold on to 2nd spot. grab the second place finish. You see it once again on the instant replay. This was coming to the white flag, Morgan. It was a big deal to see Stewart drive it in there. I mean, he drove it in there. I'm not sure if he lost the nose on it or if he just overdrove it at that point. I'm not exactly 100% sure. We'll check it out right here on the instant replay, but I mean, he sent it. Stewart sent it in there hard, and this may have been the lap before.
This, I think, was the coming to the
place.
checker, I believe is what that was. Let's go back here.
Okay.
Another minute or so. I think this is on the white flag lap, I believe.
Okay, well, it all happened when they went into turn 1 and 2. That's where it got really, really good. If they're coming to the white right here, then this is when you're going to end up seeing it. There you see it right there. Stewart gets on the inside, tried to get the advantage, and bam, just drove it straight up into his door. Burns ends up going up into the wall. And Stewart, he just didn't let out of it, son. He was trying to get there. Wilkin, he saw blood in the, he was smelling blood in the water back there. Wilkin got up into the fence, maybe trying to see if both of them would end up crashing. But up front, Daniel Molnix gets the win here tonight at his home track.
There is your race winner parked on the start-finish line. We will be back right after some quick commercials for a interview with your top 3 and your entire race recap. Don't go anywhere. You've been watching QSR Simulations here from Rockingham, Gen 4 Series. Chase to the Cup, race number 9 of the season. Be back right after this.
Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh! Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Welcome back, everybody. Just witnessed QSR Simulations Gen 4 series at Rockingham. Great race, very clean race we had here this evening. Have a look at your finishing order. Daniel Molnix, he done beat him today. Started on pole, led the most laps by a large margin, and won the race. Jeremy Burns 4 seconds back after a little contact at the 24 on the last lap. Quentin Stewart, driver of that 24, finished in 3rd. Trenton Wilkin, good run in 4th position. McMurchie finished 5th. Quiet night for him, up a bunch of spots where he started in 14th. Walker finished in 6th. Brent Allen in 7th. Mago finished 8th after a wild ride off the nose of the 85. Costner, not great restart to end it off. He ended up sliding back to the 10th spot, works his way back up to 9th where he finished. Terciano finishes in the 10th position.
Last week's winner, Ethan Wisniewski, he's going to be the first driver to finish multiple laps down. The rest of these drivers did finish multiple laps down. Wisniewski will end up finishing 11th. Frank Walsh, pretty good bounce back from him. He will end up finishing 12th. Bryson Witherspoon, saw him on pit road numerous times. Still able to get a 13th place finish here tonight. Reed Sanders, we saw him get spun around, or actually spun himself out, and then ended up getting in it with Walker, and then ended up going up into the wall. He's going to end up finishing 14th. Spencer Johnson will finish 15th. Austin Dowdy, his night pretty much ended basically right from the start. He was the very first caution of the events. He will finish 16th. Patrick Hernandez will finish in the 17th spot. Chris Nail in the number 20 rounds out the 18-car field here this evening.
Yeah, one caution here tonight, 6 lead changes. That's all that it was. Very fast race as we're just over an hour of broadcast time. One of the fastest races I think I've ever seen on V-Speed. So congratulations to these QSR drivers. They put on a whale of a show. Now let's get down to some interviews. How's that sound, Mr. Jake Reeves?
That sounds good, baby. Let's do it.
We're going to start off with Quentin Stewart in the 3rd position. Let's get him down here. Mr. QSR CEO, Morgan and Jake up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys?
Well, you had a pretty spectacular race, I would say. Ran very well most of this race up in the top 2 and 3. What was it like battling with Burns so much of this race? You thought you maybe had him before the pit stop. Walk me through just racing with your buddy Jeremy Burns.
Yeah, well, it's always a pleasure to race with Burns because we always, I feel like, race each other pretty hard up front just because so many good times racing each other to leave it at very little there. But it was a good time racing together tonight. Before the pit stop, coming out of 2, I got a little bit loose. He got around me, and I was never able to overcome that again. I got back to his bumper there at the end, but I just couldn't make the pass. So it was a really good time racing with him, though. He's always super competitive. So.
Yeah, a little contact on the last lap. I'm sure you may or may not want to talk about that one there, but you went into one, looked like you either lost the nose or just didn't turn the way you expected it to, and up into the door of the 97. Why don't you walk us through that last lap?
Yeah, and that definitely was a mistake on me. But what I was trying to do going in is I was trying to keep him a little bit high on his entry. So I was trying to run him a little bit high going in, and then it just did not work out with my braking there. So the car just did not turn as much as I thought it was going to. So I got into him a little bit. Hated that happened, but he still got second, so I'm not too pressed about it. But yeah, that's just rough racing there at the end. Hate I had that contact though.
Yeah, that's just the way Rockingham is sometimes, right? It all funnels down into turn 1 and you make contact sometimes. So do you have any inkling of what it was that Molnix was able to do that made him so lightning fast tonight? Any idea what happened there?
He saves tires probably as good as anybody. We're lucky Joyner wasn't here tonight because he would have been up front as well, I think. But Molnix, he's fast and somehow saves the tires while he does it. So, in practice, I was running pretty similar times to him. I think we were on the same 10th. So I don't know. He just finds a way to do it every week. That's a real testament to him. He's probably our most consistent driver here in this league. So. But it was good to be up there racing with him and Burns. You don't see me in the top 3 on too many races, so it was good to see the front of the field. So yeah, nice change.
Definitely a good effort for that 24 here tonight. Anyone you want to shout out for this big podium finish?
I gotta thank the QSR admin team. Looking forward to seeing those guys. They're all coming down for the Coke 600 this weekend. We have actually our winner here from QSR coming down as well. They won those tickets in the All-Star race, so we're really excited for that. So that's Chris Nail, Tyler Harrison, Austin Dowdy, Jeremy Burns, Ronnie Joyner, Ethan Wisnowski. All those guys do an awesome job, and Austin Dowdy too, if I missed him. But anyway, yeah, I gotta thank all those guys, and thank you guys at V-Speed for always doing an awesome job here on the broadcast.
You bet. It is a pleasure, especially when races go like this, clean and pretty much green at Rockingham. Congratulations, Quentin, for both setting up this great league and the 3rd place finish tonight. We will catch you next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that is your 3rd place finisher, Quentin Stewart. Jeremy Burns has declined an interview this evening. Speculate. Go.
Honestly, I think he's a little mad that I was that close to him personally. I don't think he would own that publicly, but
well, we'll have to ask him next time we see him, but it's not going to be
You'll have to
tonight.
ask him about it. You'll have to ask him about it. You'll have to ask him about it. Nah,
Awesome.
man. Nah, I'm just messing with him. But
Awesome.
yeah. I don't know what he's getting into, but yeah. Appreciate you guys here at V-Speed though.
You bet. That is QSR CEO Quentin Stewart. All right, now we move to the man who dominated this race tonight, none other than Daniel Mulnix. Daniel, Morgan, and Jake up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Take it away, Jake.
Well, Daniel, I'm telling you, I mean, I'll just go ahead and come out and say it. I mean, did you drop the buckshot out of the frame rail before or after the caution that came out with Reed Sanders coming out? I'm just curious. I mean, when did you drop the buckshot out of the frame rail?
That's classified.
That's classified. I figured we was gonna give that answer. Well, yeah, in all seriousness, I mean, you literally took him to the woodshed, and it's like I said on the broadcast, pretty much just give him a southern spanking tonight. I mean, what's the secret? Which obviously I know you ain't gonna give us away all your secrets here, but I mean, is it just because you love this track so much because it's a hometown race for you, or what is it that Rockingham is just so special to you?
It is home track, so of course I always love running well here. Um, but I mean, I like the tracks that wear tires out. You know, where you got to manage your stuff. It's not all about the setup under the car. The driver has some say so in it, and usually in the races with worn out tracks like that, Atlanta is another one, Auto Club, even Indy. I mean, you look at the results, the rundown of the guys that finish in that race, and it's usually, you know, for lack of a better term, the better guys finish near the front because they have to save their stuff.
And then obviously we're sitting here, we're looking at the points right now. And I mean, Daniel, I mean, you basically, from what I'm seeing, you're leading everybody. If you wasn't already leading everybody in the points, as far as wins goes, this is your third win on the season. Um, it's got to make you feel pretty good, especially here with just a couple more weeks before we end up going to the chase for the championship.
Yeah. There's, I mean, it's nice to get a third win, but there's a couple that slipped away. Um, like last week. I know that was just a racing deal, but that literally seen the checkered flag fall and had finished 20th. So, that, and then there was a couple other races. I kind of got wrecked. But I mean, I've been in contention every week, and you can't. I mean, you can't complain with that. You know, if you run up front every week, I mean, the wins are gonna show up. Um,
Eventually. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I definitely needed a night like this. I missed Daytona, the start of the season, so I'm one race behind. So I've been trying to play catch up the whole season, and good points days are great. Good top fives, but it's tough to beat wins.
And race is always the best thing when Daniel Monix ends up getting a win here tonight at his home track, The Rock. And Daniel, before we let you go, you got anybody that you want to thank for this win? Sponsors, shout outs, anybody?
I want to thank the guys at Venom Motorsports. I want to thank you guys for putting this on. Great broadcast every week. I want to give a shout out to Frank Walsh for sponsoring these races. I think he's got. I think this was his second, so I believe he has three more. But yeah, shout out to Frank and Hensley Forklifts. So if you need any of that, give him a call.
Give old Frank a call. He will hook you up.
Yep.
Daniel Monix gets the win here tonight at The Rock. Daniel, appreciate your time, buddy. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week.
All right. See you guys next week.
That is your winner at Rockingham, Daniel Mulnix. All right. Well, with all that being said, maybe some beef started between Stewart and Burns. Hard to say. That is gonna wrap up our show. QSR Simulations race here, Chase to the Cup, Gen 4 Cup Series at Rockingham. Let's have a look ahead to next week. Indianapolis. What a wonderful racetrack that is, one of the centers of motorsports all across the world. That rectangle will be filled with speed. All these Gen 4 Cup cars, 200 miles an hour easily into turns 1 and 3. Should be a great show next week. Then Darlington, the Lady in Black will absolutely punish you in this car. Been there, done that. Then on to Dover, Richmond, Charlotte, charity event. And Homestead, Miami will round out your season and crown a champion here in the Gen 4 series. But for everyone at V-Speed, I've been Morgan Cook, Jake Reeves alongside me. A big shout out to Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, Adam Baker. As always, the team behind the scenes doing what they do. Appreciate all of their commitments. You've been watching V-Speed. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't miss a moment of the action. Broadcasting and streaming all the time, racing all across iRacing. Please do join the ride with us. But that is all for this evening. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening.